House Networks present the Bright House Networks High School Football Game of the Week.
And welcome to Scotland Yard here on the east side of Bakersfield as we look at a beautiful sunset setting over the mountains just to the west of Bakersfield. Tonight, the South High Rebels take on the host Highland Scots here at Scotland Yard. It's great to be back up here on the Scissor Lift. I'm Matt Alvarez alongside longtime veteran of the Bright House Networks High School Football Game of the Week, Brian Adams. Brian, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well there, Matt, and glad to have you here next to me, and excited for our second week of Bright House Networks football presentation. And we should have a good game between South High and Highland.
Well, Highland already game tested. They're coming off a close loss to Arvin last week. South has yet to see game action. However, Coach John Wren at South told me that he was in the stands at Arvin watching the Highland game last week. He saw that Highland has a very youthful team. They're starting 4 offensive linemen that are sophomores, Brian. So, I mean, what can youth, how big can youth be a factor tonight for this Highland team?
Well, you know, one thing about youth is they play with a lot of energy. And you got to hope as a coaching staff that you can ball that energy and not make those inexperienced mistakes. And if you can get that energy going, and especially with young guys, Matt, is have some things happen early positive so they can get that confidence built. But I think he's looking to build on these young players. You see a lot of sophomores and 10s and 11s on the roster. And I think if they can get that confidence, last year they were 6-4. I think they have a chance to put this program in the direction that Coach Montano wants to go.
Head coach, again, like you said, Steve Montano. The head coach for South is John Wren. As we get ready to do the opening ceremonies here, the captains for both teams coming out. You see there on the field for Highland, 44, Tyler Kirkland. He's a senior. Number 21, Brendan Johnson, also a senior. Number 11, Breaker Brennan, who's the starting quarterback for Highland, is a sophomore. And that's number 80, Augie James, a senior. Rounding out the Highland captains for South, number 20, Demetrius Green. Number 77, D'Artagnan Harris. Number 21, Terrell Duke, who you're definitely going to see big things from tonight. And number 3, Jesse Belt. For the South High Rebels. Good crowd on hand tonight. The band is in the house for Highland. Out on the far side of the field, the home side actually not the press box side. One of the rare times you'll see that in high school football. Actually, even in junior college football at our own level, Bakersfield College's home side has now switched to the press box side. Brian, looking forward to see the Renegades in action tomorrow night. But business first here, as there's the opening coin toss. So you look at this South team, led again by John Wren. You've got names like Demetrius Green. You've got names like Terrell Duke. South's going to be receiving the ball. And we'll see how the South High offense can handle this Highland youth defense.
And, you know, one thing is, if you're South, I like getting the ball because you want to put the ball in the hands of Terrell Duke so he can go put on a show. He's the guy that they're looking for, explosive running back, able to make big plays. We look forward to hearing big things about him this season, Matt.
Well, South's quarterback, Keith Evans, going to get the ball from center. Terrell Duke, D'Artagnan Harris. Big names for South High. Again, Breaker Brennan, the quarterback for Highland. And like we mentioned, he's just a sophomore, so be anxious to see Highland get the ball here. Again, coming off a loss against Arvin next week. Technically, we're in week 1, but this is week 2 of Bright House Networks' coverage of the high school football game of the week. Never understood the whole week 0 thing. Why don't they just extend the week by a season? Or the season by a week, rather.
Yeah, that's always a little confusing. It's week 0. You know, shouldn't that just be the first week, and then if you have a bye later, it's a bye?
I agree. Cody Wood tees up the ball on his own 40-yard line. And back deep to receive for the South High Rebels, number 2, Keith Evans on the far side. And number 21, Terrell Duke.
And Matt, Evans is what you call an athlete. He's a guy you can put on the field. He can play anywhere for you. So they have to be very careful with kicking this ball off to either one of these deep backs.
6'1", 185 junior Keith Evans. Receiver on offense, strong safety on defense. We're about to get underway here at Highland High School. Cody Wood puts foot to football. We're underway. This one's going to go to Keith Evans. He takes it at the 11-yard line. Evans has a big hole up the middle. Keith Evans breaks to the outside, tripped up at the last minute. That was number 28, Alec Juarez. Brian, right on cue. You said he can make a play south with great field position to start off at the 45-yard line.
Well, Keith Evans almost started his junior year with about a 90-yard return. And you can see right here, big hole opens up. The wedge is busted up. Now he's going to go here, just a shoestring tackle, a little bit off balance, he falls. Otherwise, he's going to the other end zone for 6.
Officially, it'll be the 42-yard line where South High starts off. They come to the line. It's Eddie Perez, the 5'7", 160-pound junior. They send Evans in motion. They pitch it out to Evans. It's going to be a pitch pass. Evans looks. He's got his man wide open. It's the quarterback, Eddie Perez, all the way down to the 31-yard line of Highland. A little trickery right off the bat for the Rebels.
When we talked about he's an athlete, you can put him anywhere, and that's what Evans does. He's going to get the ball right here, pitch out from the quarterback. Now, Evans is looking. He had a couple guys open, but he's going to take his time. He's patient, throws the ball right on the money to Perez there, and picks up a big first down. And South High is coming out gunslinging, Matt.
The 33-yard line, it took him one play to get there. Evans in motion again. They hand it off to Evans, or the pitch to Evans on the outside. Evans with a convoy of blockers, and he's going to be dragged down after a pretty big gain up near the 15-yard line. 3 plays in a row, Keith Evans touches the ball. 3 plays in a row, South High picks up big yards.
That was a great block by the receiver out there, and that was Belt. He stopped at the end, and now look at out there. You have everybody, Duke pushing guys over. He runs over and pancakes a man, and that's what you want. Everybody in there blocking, and the offense attacking on the blocks, Matt.
Perez will line up in the shotgun. He has Asante Johnson to his right. Perez back to throw. Quick slant over the middle. Caught. Is it going to be enough for a touchdown? No. Stopped at the goal line was Jesse Belt.
I'll tell you this right now, man. I really like it.
Well, Jesse Belt on the quick slant. Watch him at the top of the screen. One move and he's on the inside of the defense. South High first and goal at the 1-yard line of Highland. You see how close they are to that goal line. Here's Perez in the shotgun. He's going to take it straight up the gut. Perez gets a great push. And he's in. Touchdown, Rebels. A minute 32 seconds into the game. South High goes up 6-0.
Well, Matt, you got to like right now Coach Wren's offense. Very open, able to throw the ball, a little trickery the first play, power run, slant, then you just push it in with the quarterback. I like what they've done so far. I like the intensity that the players had. And one thing, when I was walking on the field, I was talking to the players like, who's going to make some plays tonight? And Duke said, Bright House, we're not here about individuals. It's a team effort. We all work together. And I think you're seeing that tonight.
The mark of a true leader. And there's Perez holding the ball. Kick is up. It's no good. And that was Carlos Reyes. He missed the extra point. He's lucky there to not have gotten a personal foul penalty for taking off his helmet after missing it as well. A little bit of frustration. Look at that offensive line push those Scotsmen back into their own end zone. South High early, up 6-0. but now we get to see Highland's offense. Again, led by their sophomore quarterback, Breaker Brennan.
And the one thing we're seeing right now is on offense, the interior line for South High was very dominant. If the defense is this dominant, it could be a long night for Highland. But the other thing, when you're young, you were in a battle last week, you have some experience. The coach had to tell them, hey, that's just one series. Don't worry about it. Let's bounce back. But they're going to have to step up, and they're going to have to be quick against the South High offensive line. And offensively, let's see what Highland comes out and does. They lost O'Leary last year, who was their Mr. Everything. So let's see how they play.
Sergio Chavez, the senior, can handle the kickoff duties tonight for South.
Get your helmet, it's deep time. Let's go.
And deep to receive for the Scots. Looks like number 2, Jeremy Adams, back there. The blue numbers, dark blue numbers on the green jerseys. Been pretty hard to read from far away, nonetheless. Sergio Chavez tees it up. 10:28 left to go in the first quarter. South High up 6-0 on an early touchdown. The South High crowd starting to get loud below us. And the Highland offense will try to give their crowd something to cheer about. Chavez, high and deep. Taken at the 5-yard line. And busting to the outside is Wyatt Campbell. Campbell cuts back, runs into his own man. And Campbell all the way up to the 39-yard line. And we have a injured player back at the 20-yard line. That's 52, Brandon Furman. We've also got a penalty flag down on the play.
Well, we're going to see right here on the return and see if we can see the block. Well, he's already down on the ground. That's where the flag is. But good return, you're going to see a cutback right here. Bumps right into his own man. But he's going to be able to get upfield. And that was a good return if it would have been for the penalty flag and the illegal block.
Chop block. Going to be called against Highland. And, as a result of that chop block, that might be our injured player Furman on the ground there at the 20-yard line. He has the coaching staff around him right now.
Yeah, and that's definitely why he's on the ground, and they're checking him out. We got to hope that the young man's okay, but that's exactly why they want those rules in play for high school. It's just the danger that you have when you go low, taking guys out, hitting their knees.
And it's good to see Furman up on his feet. He gets an ovation from the crowd. He's walking off under his own power. He gives the nod to his sidelines. Yeah, I'm okay. I'll get back in there. Brandon Furman, the 6'1", 200-pound junior, listed as on the O-line and D-line. So here comes the Island offense. Breaker Brennan, the sophomore. 2 wings and a wide receiver out to the far right. And before the place even started, we have flags. And it's going to be an offside penalty against South. 5 easy yards there for the Highland offense.
I think that's what Highland needed. You're already backed up in that close to that end zone. Give you a little bit of breathing room. But, when you have a young team, Matt, you don't want to start off a great kickoff, negate it with a penalty. But they're right now almost at the 20, so it's a good chance now for them to pick up a first down.
The handoff goes to the left side, and breaking outside was number 44, Tyler Kirkland. Or check that was 24 that time, Austin Vastbinder. Okay, I'll get it right this time. 24 is Nick Corona.
Nick Corona, and right there will tell you too, good tackle by Evans. I like those guys that play on both sides of the ball and make plays. And I think Evans is going to be one of the guys I'm going to talk about all year long.
This handoff is to Kirkland. He bulldozes his way up the middle. He's going to pick up the first down for Highland, as that was a 2nd and 2 play. Highland will keep the chains moving all the way up to the 27-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Highland from the 27. They're quick to huddle up on the ball as Kirkland gets the handoff once again. Big hits going on right there in the pile.
Just another quick hitter, like you said, and you're going to see right here, let's hit each other. You're going to see Evans come over and hit his own man there, but they're aggressive.
Yeah, that's the guy who wants to get in the play. He wants a little helmet contact for sure. Kirkland's going to be stuffed in the backfield by the South defense after a pickup of 5 on the last play. So it's going to bring up a third. Looks like a third and about 4 as time winding down, below 9 minutes left to go here in the first.
And you know, Matt, 3rd and 4 makes it manageable for a young quarterback.
That young quarterback is Breaker Brennan, and he's going to hand off. And a fumble on the play, and it's going to be picked up by the Rebels. And guess who hopped on the winning lottery ticket? It was Keith Evans. Already making his presence felt. South High gets the ball back on the 27-yard line.
Let's just see if we can see what happened. The handoff right there. I can't see the number there who rips it out. 60, I think it's 66. I can't see from 60. And then Evans does a great job of fighting for the ball and securing the turnover.
Perez, pitch on the outside to Duke. Duke has some space, and he gets rounded up by a host of Scotsmen after picking up about 6 or 7 yards. Darrell Evans all over the field. Check that, Keith Evans all over the field tonight.
You can see Deuce come around right here on the motion, fly motion. He's going to pick it up here. Look at his balance, Matt. Able to shed off a tackle, stays on balance, and then gets down.
Perez, the handoff up the middle, and not making it very far was number 8, Asante Johnson. Johnson's listed at 6'1", 185, a fullback, and he's just a junior. There's Coach John Wren shouting out the play calls from the south sideline. They did, however, pick up a first down on the play, so it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Rebels from the 17 of Highland. They throw the ball up in the air.
Oh.
Wide open was Jesse Belt, but it was over his head off the arm of Eddie Perez.
Yeah, I'd like to see the replay of that if we have it, because I think he has a chance to catch this, but watch. He's going to fade out. Good fade. The ball's thrown a little long, but I mean, he kind of stops on it. That's actually a perfect pass. That's where the ball's supposed to be at.
Outside shoulder, right, Brian?
Outside shoulder, 1 yard on that field.
Evans in motion. Perez, the pitch out to Evans. Evans has some space on the the near sideline, gets run out of bounds. Close to the first down with 7.5 minutes left in the first. And it is going to be a first down, another 1st and goal for the Rebels.
Matt, watch how patient he is. He doesn't push it. He waits for the blockers. And then I like how he puts his shoulders down. He tries to get that extra yard, picks up a first down.
Ball on the right hash for Eddie Perez and company from the 6-yard line. 1st and goal. They send the man in motion. It's Duke. Duke met hard in the backfield, and he's going to be taken down for a loss. A lone bright spot in this Highland defense. It was 21 Brendan Johnson making the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
And did a great job of getting upfield and getting the penetration and not coming in and committing himself, but forcing Terrell Dukes to go inside of him, was able to make the tackle one-on-one.
Both of these teams very quick to get on the ball in their offensive possessions. Eddie Perez, he's going to roll out to the right. Looking, still looking, got plenty of time, throws it. It bounces up in the air, and it's incomplete. Boy, from our angle, all we saw was nothing but green jerseys.
And then a carom. And right here, this is not a good decision. He's going to be totally covered. You see 1, 2, 3, 4 jerseys, and now the Rebel guys are trying to go to the ball. We can't see if the ball hits the ground, but it looked like his hands were underneath from that angle was tough, but they had to make a judgment call. It said incomplete, and it's going to be 3rd and goal.
3rd and goal from the 10-yard line for the Rebels. Already up 7 or 6-0, and a timeout going to be taken by South High. Coach John Wren running out onto the field, going to huddle the troops.
And again, we talked about he's rolling out. you know, at this point, he's just going to force it in there through 4 green shirts. And here's this bounce there.
Oh, that was close.
Yep, hit the ground right there.
And you see the referee over here on the right side of your screen. He's all over it. That's a good job that, you know, for Keith Evans' credit, that's good for him to roll over on his back, put the ball up in the air. That's what you're coached.
And that's what you're coached to, and you're exactly right. When, you know, you want to sell it to the official. Sometimes he's out of position. He may not be able to see it, but if you can really do it very quick and turn and spin it, you can make the official look like you made a catch.
Liberty hosts Central tonight. That should be a tough test for them for sure.
Yeah, they have the best defensive backfield in the section, where they have 3 guys being recruited heavily by the powerhouse colleges, including my nephew, L.J. Moore.
Looks like an official's timeout being taken here. We're down to 6:42 left in the first quarter. South was trying a little trickery there. Eddie Perez had lined up on the wing. Got 4 in the backfield. Oh, they'll do it again. Evans is going to take the snap now from the shotgun position. Sends Perez in motion. And it looks like somebody may have jumped wearing a green jersey.
And he came way offside. He just ran across and got caught. Made an easy call for the line judge. But this is their wildcat when you see Evans play at the quarterback position.
5-yard gain because of the offside penalty. Technically half the distance to the goal, but half of 10 is 5. There you go. So 3rd and goal from the 5. They send Perez in motion. Evans going to take it himself, and he's swallowed up. Good job of containing by the Highland defense. In there on the tackle, Brendan Johnson again.
And at this point, I think I'm going for it. Good job by the defense. Swarming right there. Good penetration, like you said. And that's Nick Corona. I like going for this because your defense is playing well. Their offense looked a little like they're going to have some problems against your defense. Put the pressure on them if you can score. And if not, make them go 95 on you.
Not to mention, the kicker for South missed the extra point. That was Carlos Reyes. So it'll be 4th and 5 here from the 5-yard line. 4th and goal from the 5-yard line. They send Evans in motion. And it's a pitch back to Duke. And Duke going to be stopped before he gets to the goal line. It's going to be a turnover on downs as Austin Vassbinder was able to halt the charge of the Rebels. And it'll be Highland's ball deep inside their own territory.
And you're going to see right here, Duke's going to go inside. Good penetration there and able to swallow him up. And that was big 35, Robert Lopez, one of the seniors.
So now Highland backed into their own corner here with 5:59 left to go here in the first. They try to run it up the gut, and getting a good gain out of it was Kirkland.
Well, Matt, that was a good quick hitter right there. You're going to see just right up the middle, good block at the point attack, holes open. And I like the way Tyler Kirkland just powered through and wasn't going to be stopped and picked up a good 6 yards.
They go back up the middle. Not the type of gain that they got last play, but it's close enough to the first down to make it interesting. We'll see where they mark it. It'll be 3rd and 1 for Highland deep in their own territory.
You know, for a team that's showing they're going to pretty much run the ball quite a bit, that's what you want to be in. 3rd and very short.
And they hand it off up the middle once again. Nothing doing but a penalty flag on the play. We'll see what the call is. That's right in the area of holding. Oh,
face
no, we got a
mask.
face mask.
Personal foul face mask. That'll be, was that 15, right?
15 and an automatic first down, so that's an easy way to move the chains if you're the Highland Scots. Yeah, what a weird position to get a face mask in. I mean, when you run it up the gut like that, I guess you got hands going everywhere. Here you go. Let's see if we can pick it up in here. You see the flag come in late. Well, First and 10 for Highland at the 28. They hand it off, and snuffing that play out from the very beginning, of course, was Keith Evans. He made first contact, then South High swarmed on number 35, Lopez.
And you're going to see right here, Matt, they're going to try to come off the edge. And there's Evans coming in, forcing him back in. And that's our guy who made the play on defense, Robert Lopez. And he's getting hit for no gain. And that's the kind of play that Highland, I don't think, can afford to have.
And tripping up in the backfield, but getting the pitch off was Breaker Brennan. And he handed it off, I believe, to Lopez that time. And Lopez didn't get much out of it.
Yeah, right now these last two plays have not been very good for Highland because they're putting them in a situation where they're third and long, and they haven't really shown anything to pass. But you got to be careful watching tight ends in this situation. There's a fumble.
A fumble right off the bat. South High doesn't recover, but they're going to get the ball back because they're going to force a Highland punt here, as it's going to be 4th and 10. Just a poor exchange from center to quarterback. Sophomore jitters could possibly be getting to Breaker Brennan right now. Even though he's had a week to prepare, he is now battle tested officially after playing at Arvin last week.
Well, I'm going to make a suggestion here, and that would kick the ball away from Mr. Evans.
Punting the ball is Cody Wood. He's back near his own 15-yard line. Wood takes the snap, gets the kickoff. It goes a one-hopper, and Evans is going to field it at the 40, and he's tackled right away. Good job by Jeremy Adams to haul him down, but it's going to be South High ball. Relatively good field position for this South High offense.
And I like this punt this away, so now when he does try to field it, your coverage is right there. There's not room for Evans to really make a big play.
So Eddie Perez and company will get the ball back. Again, Keith Evans, you see him coming onto the sideline. He's going to get a well-deserved rest. He's been all over the field tonight. From the 40-yard line, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rebels. Evans has Asante Johnson in the backfield. He's in the shotgun with 2 wide receivers out to the right. They send a man in motion. They hand it off to Johnson left side. Asante Johnson tries to cut back, but he's met by Tyler Kirkland. Who else is down there? Nick Romero. Just a host of Scotsmen taking him down after a short gain. I like the pursuit here of the Highland defense, Brian.
Well, I'm with you right here. Look at it. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys coming in to make plays, and that's what you want to do when you're playing defense. You want guys swarming to that ball.
2nd and 8, officially a gain of 2. And Perez is going to pitch it back out to the right side. Terrell Duke. Duke trying to hurdle the man, and that's actually going to be a loss on the play. Did you see how far Duke caught that ball behind the line of scrimmage? Then he had all that room to make up, and he lost 3 on the play.
And, you know, one thing, too, I like about that, the defense is swarming. That first series, they were a little shell shocked, Matt, but they've really bounced up and stepped up to the plate, the Highland Scots defense, and they're giving their offense a chance by keeping the game only 6-0.
Penalty flag on the play. It's going to be a sideline warning for South. First time it's a warning, second time it's a 15-yard penalty. There's no such thing as a sideline warning after the first time. It becomes a sideline penalty. I guess the get-back coach is taking the night off for the South High Rebels. Thanks for that one, Bernie.
Yeah, he's back on the job now. That's the job I like. Get 60, 70, maybe 80 grand and say, get back.
They hand off to Duke, and he's going to go up the left side. Fumble on the play, and Highland has it.
They're saying he's down. They're
saying
emphatically that he was down.
Nonetheless, it is going to be 4th down for South High, but Wouldn't be surprised to see him go for it. Let's see if he really was down. Duke on his way down. Oh, that was close. It bounced off the
bang play right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Bounced off the dome of one of the Highland defenders. And looks like, well, we've got number 18 back. That is William Lujan. And a timeout going to be called by South High. That's their second timeout of the first half. And we're not even 11 minutes into the first quarter. A little bit of a miscommunication between John Wren and his coaching staff.
Rewind that a little back. Let's see if we can.
Oh, there you see the Rebels. Jesse Belt with his helmet off, getting a swig of water.
We have one more angle here. And let's see if we can see if his knee goes down first and the ball pops out.
Ew.
Yeah, I think his knee's down first. That left knee down first.
Yeah, tie goes to the runner in that case. It's going to be 4th and 5 from the 45-yard line for South High. Highland is lining up in punt return formation with Jeremy Adams, the senior, deep to receive, but let's see here. South looking like they're going to run an offensive play.
Yeah, I don't think your punt guy can be down that far. Who cares if he does punt it?
And they throw the ball. It's a fade up top, and it's caught
It's a Belt
by Jesse Belt. Belt breaking away. 2 tackles he broke now. And inside the 20-yard line, the South High Rebels back in business on a 4th and 10. And I got to tell you, Brian, that Highland defense, they were set up for a punt return. They had no idea.
Well, I think somebody had to call a timeout for Highland. You have to realize they're not punting. And at that point, you're in the mismatches all over the field, and Belt makes them pay. Little hesitation back to the outside, and look at a little power for Belt. He's going to run over a guy, and he puts him down in the scoring territory.
So 1st and 10 for the Rebels from the 16, as we're under a minute to go in the first quarter. Eddie Perez, pitch on the right side, and making his way up towards the goal line is Demetrius Green. He's going to be inside the 5, and another South High first down.
I'll tell you, good blocking again at the point of attack. Way to read the blocks. And then I like how Green gets upfield and goes towards that goal line.
1st and goal from the 3-yard line. South in definite scoring territory once again as Johnny Dearden is in the backfield with Perez. Perez sends Evan in motion, and we got a penalty flag down again. It's going to be our 3rd or 4th penalty of the first quarter. 23 seconds left to go. It's going to be a false start for South, and that takes them out of that comfort zone they could have had running the ball.
I think they still can run the ball because I think they feel they can get off at any time in the running game. But you know what, Matt? The Highland defense held last time down here.
Yes,
and if they can hold again and force another go for it on 4th down or a field goal attempt, I think that's a good play by the defense to make up for that miscue on the punt return, because there's no way they should have been in return formation.
Well, we're going to see if they can get this play off before the end of the first quarter, and they don't. That's the end of the first. South High up 6-0, threatening to score again on the Highland Scots. We'll be back.
Connect with an industry-leading fiber network powered by Bright House Networks Business Solutions, chosen to provide communication services for the Republican National Convention, which meant building a metro Ethernet for the convention that could support a small city, dedicated bandwidth with guaranteed SLAs, a network scale to support hundreds of worldwide media outlets, and continuous Wi-Fi access. We connected Tampa to the world. Imagine what we could do for your business. Bright House Networks Business Solutions.
Remember their first sleepover? They called just to say goodnight. Then it was the curfew call to let you know they were on their way. Now they're on their own. And with Bright House Network's home phone, staying in touch is just a phone call away, anytime, anywhere. Add home phone for as low as $10 per month and enjoy unlimited calling, plenty of free features, and proven reliability. So you can call just to say hello. Learn more at brighthouse.com/phone.
"12 minutes up on the board here in the second quarter. South High threatening once again. Already up 6-0. On the first drive of the game, they punched in for a touchdown. On the first play of the second quarter, we'll see what South High does here. They already get Highland to jump, and that was number 74, Eric Saavedra. And he knew it.
You know, and after getting those 5 yards you just got from South making a mistake, you give it right back, and now the ball's on the 4-yard line.
And he's headed right towards the sideline.
Which a defensive lineman is like a receiver. They should never go because you're watching the ball.
Right up the middle, Perez trying to barrel his way into the end zone. It's a shoving match, and he got in. Oh, one referee had his hand up like it was. Touchdown, South High.
That was rugby.
Oh, yeah. Rugby scrum right there. My goodness, watch the push of this South High offensive line.
Isn't that the Reggie Bush play with Matt Liner when you push him over the goal line?
The Bush push. Those were good times for the Trojans. Taking on Hawaii tomorrow as the #1 team in the country. But back to business here, as South High is going to have the ball lined up on the left hash. They're going to go for 2 here to try to make it a more football-esque score. If they can get in, it'll be 14-0. As it is, it's 12-0 right now. Cruz sends Green in motion, or Perez rather, and Green walks in easily to the end zone. It's 14-0 on the first play of the second quarter. South High goes up by 2 touchdowns. That was easy for Green. He just waltzed right in.
You know, one thing I'm watching almost with all these running backs or ball carriers for South is they're very patient, and they wait for the block, and then they just cut up field almost like they just glide with it into the end zone or glide up 5 or 6 yards. But good job.
And that speaks for the experience of the South High backfield. Demetrius Green, a senior, Keith Evans, a junior. These kids, they, like you said, Brian, they wait for the hole to open up. They don't force anything. They wait until it's there, and then they go and they hit it hard. So bravo on the South High offensive coaching staff that preaches that sort of system. They're up by 14-0 here with 11:47 left in the first half.
You know, and Evans, even though he's a junior, he played last year as a sophomore, so he has a lot of varsity experience.
There's John Wren, former coach of mine when I was playing at Foothill. Wren at the helm of this South High Rebels team. Again, I want to remind you, this is South's first game of the season.
You know, they're doing a lot of this without Armando Rhea, who is probably their best player on defense and their captain and leader.
Rhea, Foothill transfer. This is South High's first game of the year. Highland already has the game under their belts. They lost to Arvin last week. There's a big boot, and making his way all the way back into the end zone was number 3, John Stanley. That was a boot right there, Brian.
I think he rode the wind on that.
Oh, yeah.
Good job of kicking the ball deep, and good coverage there, too. As you got Sergio Chavez kicking it, good coverage by the South High defense, able to stop the Scotsman right there right around the 10-yard line.
Now, for those of you wondering why that wasn't a touchback, it's because John Stanley caught the ball on the other side of the goal line, and his momentum pushed him back into the end zone. That's why it wasn't a touchback. It was a live ball. Lopez, the ball carrier, gets 5 yards up to the 15 on first down.
Right there, just goes and takes the legs out. Good tackle. And Lopez picks up 5. And can Highland get something going? A sustained drive.
They give the ball back to Lopez. That's a good guy to start with. And he is bowled over at the line of scrimmage by 4 or 5 South High defenders.
You know, and you wonder what kind of passing game South has. Do they have a situation where they can put that in the breadbasket, pull it out, and hit a tight end for a quick hitter?
That was Brandon Furman first to make the tackle there for South. Good to see him back on the field. And they go back to Lopez on third down, and not a lot doing after that 5-yard gain, as they were only able to pick up 2. And it's going to be 4th and 3 deep in their own territory, Brian. Do they need to switch things up now?
Well, I think they don't have any confidence right now that they can throw the ball against South High, because you got to figure they've been third down a few times now, and we haven't even seen one pass play try.
Cody Wood going to punt the ball into the wind, and he's got the ever-dangerous Keith Evans waiting at the 50-yard line.
Now, Keith's got to come up a little bit. You have to understand he's kicking into the wind. You know, I would say you got to be about the 45-yard line on the other 40, on their 45, not yours.
See how this wind affects the kick. Oh, and the snap is high over the head of Wood. It's going to go for a safety. And that'll be 2 more points added on to South High's total here, 16-0. And to rub some salt in the wound, South High gets the ball right back.
Yeah, they're going to get the ball right back. Now you have to kick the ball 2 danger term in, and that's not even close right there. And, you know, for South High, for Highland, everything is going wrong. They couldn't have scripted it to go any worse for them. But again, they've been playing for almost, a quarter, a little bit left. They still got 10 minutes, and they're only down 16. So it's not like they're in this big, huge hole, but they have to show some kind of life on offense, maybe a big play on defense. They need something to turn the tide for them.
They've showed sparks of life on defense thus far, have the Highland Scots. Actually, South is lining up on the wrong side of the field here. They need to go down to the other side of the field. But this Highland defense, like we've seen in the first quarter, they showed signs of life by stopping South deep in Highland's territory. But their defense definitely needs to come up with a big stop here. Otherwise, South could have the Highland wheels come off early.
And Duke's down there, and he looks like he's shaking up a little bit. He has a helmet off. Never good when you're seeing the trainer work on you. So hopefully he's not injured too bad.
And believe me, Brian, that is a frustrating feeling as a kicker to have the snap go over your head when you're that deep in your own territory, because it's not going to end up good. I mean, if the ball landed inbounds, your best bet is just kick it out of bounds. But then you have that hero instinct where you want to pick it up and try to make a play, and that's when you end up getting hurt like I did.
That's what you did?
Oh, yeah.
I bet your dad got on you too for that.
That he did. Ball bounces right at the 45-yard line. And a dangerous play there as the ball was jumped on by Keith Evans.
And I like this kick by Cody Wood. Looked like a little wedge kick right there. Just had some spin back because that ball's live right there. So they almost could have got it back.
1st and 10 for the 47 for South. I guess the only good thing that's coming out of that kick is that it's on the South High side of the field.
I wouldn't be surprised if South takes a chance now and go downfield and try to get this open. And they're going to be illegal, too many men in the huddle right there. So that's going to be a penalty. But I just wouldn't be surprised. They have good field position, Matt. You're on about, the 45. Now you be on the 40. I wouldn't be surprised if they take a chance and try to let one of the playmakers go one-on-one out here with the big ball, especially with the wind behind your back.
Yeah, absolutely. You have this wind floated up there to Keith Evans. He's got the smaller Jeremy Adams covering him, but nonetheless, and losing his footing was number 6, Javier Rodriguez. And
there's a penalty flag coming down. It's real late. You have a Highland Scotsman on the ground.
That came out of nowhere. It's going to be a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against South. Let's see if we can see what happened here. It's going to be on the top part of the screen.
Just got tackled by the turf monster right there. We can't tell what happened on the other side. It's the top of the screen, but we don't have an angle on that from that review. Every once in a while, that little turf monster makes a tackle.
You know, it's good to see the fields in such great shape at this time of year, because in November there won't be any turf left, and that's not a good sign for Highland. That's one of their big playmakers, Tyler Kirkland. See if we can see what happened. He's playing the middle linebacker spot right there on the left of your screen.
Yeah, we couldn't see it, but we can see the turf monster. Boom, and he's down.
Kirkland walking off under his own power.
Man, 16-0. I might still try to air one out to Evans, especially just depends on where the coverage is. See, right there, he's got a lot of room one-on-one. If he's going to play that far off, throw a hitch and let Evans make a play.
Well, it's 2nd and a mile. And Perez is going to run the ball, take a hard hit up near the 37-yard line. I don't know if you want your quarterbacks taking hits like that.
No, but I like this decision better than that one we almost threw the interception. Nobody's open, tuck it down and run.
3rd and about 20 here for South High on the 37-yard line.
See, there's no way he's going to come on top from the safety. You got to throw it out there.
Pump fake. Perez still looking, and he's going to be sacked behind the line of scrimmage. Highland comes up with the big defensive stop that they needed. They're going to force South to punt here.
See, they're going. See, I don't think they need to do any trickery. They don't need any pump and go. You have an advantage out there with Evans. There's probably nobody on the field that can match up with his athleticism. You don't have to do anything like that with him. He has that guy pressed up. The safety's on this close to this hash, middle of the field. There's no way, Matt, he can get out to that fade. Just throw the fade route. Let Evans catch it. Do what he does best. Make guys miss, and he scores for you.
Highland not going to be fooled this time, but it is a punt, and it's going to take a big South High Rebel roll down to the 26-yard line. So Highland forces a punt. They'll go back on offense. 8:09 left here in the second quarter.
Now, right now, Highland's got to get something going. The running play inside, you might get one or two good ones, but then they're getting stuff for negative yardage or 1 yardage. If they have to get some kind of play action off that. The South High players are coming in. You know, when your corners are making tackles in the backfield, they're primed for some play action.
Absolutely. And who do you think's in the backfield? It's Lopez for the Scots.
There it is.
And the play action comes. Interception! Or was that a fumble recovery? Nonetheless, it's South High's ball, and jumping on the winning lottery ticket was Alex Kramer. Wow. The play action happened, but the blitz came. South High ball deep in Highland territory.
Yeah, right there, the turnover. Good play there by 33, Edgar Velasquez. He does a good job putting the pressure, and then it was more like a fumble. I don't think the ball ever came through. But great job right there by the South High Rebel defense. And now the Highland Scots are calling timeout.
That's going to be Highland's first timeout. And Yeah, you could either or. I mean, fumble or interception, whatever you want to call it. It's South High ball, but that's one of the weirder plays that you'll see this year. I mean, he's rolling out to his left. Looked like he had time to throw it, but again, the sophomore Breaker Brennan just got piled on.
Well, that ball has to be gone quick. You know, and that's just a youthful experience. As he gets older and he goes through, he's going to know, hey, they've been in the backfield, it's going to be fast. I make my play action. I got to turn, get my shoulders, and throw it up. Because there was nobody covering 80, Augie James. He was wide open.
So again, we're here at Highland High School. Beautiful Friday night. The breeze is a-blowing. Wasn't too hot this week. Wasn't too hot today. Beautiful scenery as we look out from the east to the west. You can see downtown Bakersfield. You can see the west side of town. Had a nice sunset before the game started, and South High with 8:02 left takes over on the Highland 14, threatening again. They've threatened just about every drive. Switching up the formation, it's Perez. Pitch on the outside. And Demetrius Green picks up a gain of 3 yards to the 10.
And I like Tyler Kirkland when he plays right there at linebacker position. Now he just scrapes over and just really comes in full impact. And he's going to put Demetrius Green down. Watch right here, Matt. You're going to see Kirkland come through, finishes him off, and puts him down. Good job.
Breeze starting to pick up. 2nd and 6 from the 10. Cruz throws the quick slant. Caught. Touchdown. Jesse Belt. Boy, they made that look extremely easy.
That's the same slant earlier. He got tackled on the 1 yard line. He comes right back and he scores a touchdown. And good pass, good catch. And South High is opening up the floodgates.
Look at the size advantage, though, Brian. 6'1", Keith Evans, Jesse Belt, also 6'1". If Armando Rayo was playing tonight, he's 6'2". Asante Johnson, 6'1". This South team has plenty of size. PAT on the way. It is good. Carlos Reyes knocks one through, and it's 23-0 with 7:25 left to go here in the first half. And the size differential definitely coming into play. I mean, that ball was floated up there as you watch it again on the Insta replay. Belt used all of his wingspan, all of his 6'1" frame and his reach to haul that one in and give South a big lead. There's Belt on the sidelines, getting the congratulatory chest bumps.
Well, offensively, they've done some good things. A few mistakes have slowed them. Because, you know, when you get into the league and you start going up there and you're finishing off, they have to get a little cleaner. But I think they have the athletes to make a push.
Sergio Chavez lines the ball up at the 40-yard line. And back deep to receive for the Scots, number 2, Jeremy Adams, and number 3, John Stanley. The last kickoff that Chavez had drove Stanley back into the end zone. 7:25 left to go, second quarter. South already up 23-0. The South High crowd directly beneath us has plenty to cheer about tonight. Highlands crowd, although it's pretty big, has been fairly quiet. Another good boot. And it takes Wyatt Campbell back to the goal line, and he's swallowed up at the 11-yard line. That's number 61, William Purdy, on the tackle for the Rebels.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the kickoff coverage by the South High Rebels has been excellent.
Absolutely. John Wren really harping on every part of the game here for this South High team. One of the better coaches you'll find out there. I'm not just saying that because I'm biased, because he coached me when I was in high school, but he really is. He's a great motivator. He does a lot with the type of talent, the type of players that he has. He knows how to get the most out of his players, and that's fairly evident tonight. Handoff, left side, big hole for Nick Corona. Picks up 8 yards on the play, and he gets up to the 21.
That's one of the better runs we've seen South High have. But again, here he goes. It's going to go off to the left. Does a good job of cutting up, reading the hole, and is able to pick up about 7 yards.
Brennan from the 22, 2nd and 2. They hand it off on the right side. This time, it's number 6, Elias Rosas, able to pick up the first down for the Scots, and 2 running plays, and they move the chains to the 27.
You know, right here, another good run. Just going the opposite way this time. Able to get guys spread out, runs through a tackle, and then they'll get his shoulders going up towards the line of scrimmage and able to pick up a first down. Now, if you're South, you got to tell your defensive guys, we have to get back to getting that pressure.
They give the ball over to Corona once again. He's stuffed behind the line of scrimmage, going to lose a yard. So they go right back to Corona and right back to the first play of the possession. South High snuffed it out that time. It's going to be 2nd and 11. From the 27-yard line with just over 6 minutes left to go in this first half. Brennan rolling out, throwing, finding his man. It's caught by Rosas. Got a penalty flag in the backfield. Rosas still on his feet up near the 50-yard line. And another South High Rebel down. We got a penalty flag down, a Rebel down, and the ball all the way up near midfield. Gotta see what the penalty is.
And good job this time. See, he got his shoulders up early this time, found the receiver wide open because of the pressure South is putting. And then here you go, Belt. You've been making guys miss. This time you're the one that misses.
Injured Rebel on the play is going to be number 52. Brandon Furman, that's his 2nd time on the ground tonight. The penalty, by the way, was head contact penalty. It was against South, but it's going to be declined. It wasn't a dead ball penalty. So it won't be any additional tacked on to the end of the run. Furman grabbing onto his left quad area. Seems to be favoring his left leg a little bit. He'll go off under his own power. Wind starting to pick up here, the American flag on the north side of the football field. Blowing in the breeze. It's at half staff today, in case you guys were wondering why the flags were at half staff. It was because it's a Memorial Day for Neil Armstrong, first man to walk on the moon, an American hero. 5:50 left to go in the second quarter. Highland finally in South territory at the 38-yard line. A little bit of a delay as the head referee running back to his position. And here we go, Breaker under center. And Brandon hands off right side. Snuffing that out was 85 Alex Kramer for those South High Rebels. They go right back to the run after that passing play that gained them a heck of a lot of yards. And
well,
they
I
lose
like
a yard.
Rosas, Matt. He's making some good, nifty moves, making guys miss. And I like the momentum. Even they lost a yard there. I like the momentum they have right now.
They hand the ball up the middle. It's going to go to Corona. And South High again clogging up the running lanes up the middle. Only a gain of 1 or 2, which is going to bring up a long 3rd down.
Now I think you're going to see South High on this one be a little more patient and ready for pass to see if so they don't get caught off guard again with everybody moving in and going after the run.
Let's go defense.
Under 5 minutes left to go first half. South up 23-0 on Highland. They send the man in motion. Brennan hands off and swallowed up was number 44, Kirkland. Good to see him back on the field, but not going to be enough for a first down. In fact, they're going to be about 5 or 6 yards short.
But I think they can go for it anyway.
You wonder if they'll keep it on the ground this time or if they'll put it in the air.
That's a long 6 for him.
Man in motion. Brennan turns, fires, caught by Corona. How close to the first down is he? Looks like he's over the first down line.
Another penalty flag.
Well, the flag was thrown right where the ball was snapped just about. Ineligible man downfield against Highland. So what would have been a first down is going to turn into be a 10-yard penalty.
You know, and that's too bad because now you can see he's really doing a better job of getting his head upfield, shoulders set, and throwing the ball. But unfortunately for the Scotsman, there was a man legally downfield. Lyman drifted a little bit.
Those linemen always want to be a part of the play, but you got to remember, can't go upfield on a pass play until the ball's thrown. 4th and 10 now for the Scots. In motion is Corona. Brennan almost tackled in the backfield. Now he is tackled in the backfield, and South High will take over on downs at the 44.
You know, Matt, and right there, there's nothing the young man can do on that. This is snuffed out from the beginning. Look at the penetration. There's no way he's going to be able to get a pass off. There's not going to be anybody open. And then big 77, D'Artagnan Harris puts the smack down and ends that and turns the ball back over to the offense.
And you mentioned the penetration that this South High defensive line is getting on this Highland offensive line. In case you weren't with us earlier, Highland is starting 4 sophomores on their offensive line. And, you know, as talented as they may be, they still don't have the experience that the South High defensive line does. So Eddie Perez and company take over at the 43. Perez rolling out to his left. Kind of in an awkward position. It's almost picked off by Jeremy Adams as Perez tried to force another one in there.
Well, I think he had the home run ball right there, but he wasn't ready to throw it. Now he's trying to scramble, and he just has to learn not to force balls. You know, even though he looks open, it's too hard of a pass to try and touch it over the guy in front of him. And again, in the league, they could have a chance to compete for a title, but you can't do that against a Ridgeview team.
Exactly. .348 left in the second. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 43. Perez in the shotgun, sends his man in motion, and a penalty marker down before the play gets started.
I'll tell you, Matt, one way that you know this is preseason is all the flags. I'm not preseason, but early in the season, is you see a lot of flags on the ground, a lot of mistakes that you won't see at the end of the year.
And it's going to be a false start penalty against South. It'll be 2nd and 15 from the 43. And you're right, Brian. I mean, it just brings back memories of last year doing and the year before doing these Bright House games. As you continue on throughout the season, you see a lot less dead ball penalties. You know, the false starts, the offsides, the illegal motions, the illegal substitutions. See a lot less of that as the season wears on. Perez sends a man in motion, but he hands off up the right side, finding a big hole.
And that's the new rule. Any kind of horse collar is going to be a penalty.
Javier Rodriguez was the ball carrier, and he got hauled down by the back of his neck. Well, that's definitely going to tack on 15 more for the South High Rebels.
They called a face mask, but they could have called a horse collar too.
You'll see it here on the replay. As if it sounds like there's thunder in the background, there's not. It's just the wind. And you see Rodriguez running like the wind. You know what? It might have been both, Brian.
Yeah, they
Wow.
could have picked which one they wanted on that one.
And you even saw Rodriguez like, where's it at? 3:38, clock running here. 23-0 South already up on Highland in this first half. Perez back to pass, rolling out to his right, evades a tackle. Perez, man wide open, and a touchdown! Javier Rodriguez found some space. South High up big.
Well, Adams made a mistake right there, Matt. He decided to come up to the short guy and forgot that there was somebody behind him. That was Javier Rodriguez, and a good throw there by Perez for his second touchdown pass of the game.
So Perez having a pretty good night. Throwing the ball, Rodriguez has a TD pass. Watch him evade this tackle right there. Brendan Johnson tried to haul him down, and Perez on the run on his offside. Threw it. Rodriguez, the easy catch, scoop and score. And Carlos Reyes ready to kick the extra point. Low snap, but it's put down. Reyes up and good. South High up 30-0 on Highland with 3:23 left in the first half.
Now, I tell you, Matt, and that's a lonely feeling when you're in that corner, on that corner, and you see that happen. And, you know, I only gave up one touchdown in high school on me as a corner, and it should have been two. But that young man right there with the white hat and the shoulder brace, Jason Oliver, a Bakersfield High Hall of Famer, bailed me out. But you see right here, he missed the play in the backfield, and then Adams just came up and didn't do anything but give up 6.
So 6 more points on the board, 7 with the extra point. South High running away with this one here at Scotland Yard. Again, the season opener for the Rebels, who look like a revitalized team from last year. You know what's really cool about, look at that uniform. That's a sick looking uniform, Brian.
I like the new uniforms there, Matt.
I like the whole Alabama feel with a number on one side of the helmet, but man, Coach Wren, outstanding job of picking out some slick new unis for your boys. The baby blue with the gray numbers with the baby blue trim. Not bad. Not bad at all. Sergio Chavez boots the ball. It's going to be taken at the 1-yard line by John Stanley. Stanley cuts to the outside, a little bit of room, tackled hard at the 19-yard line by number 56, Ruben Recio.
But this has been the best return of the night, except for the first one that got called back. So you see right here, good job of reading the blocks, and almost gets up to the 20-yard line, but great tackle, great form tackle there.
That was John Wren jumping in front of the camera there.
Yeah, Coach Wren was excited.
Oh, yeah. 1st and 10 from the 20 for Highland, trying to get some points on the board before we break for halftime. Breaker Brennan sacked. Coming on the late blitz was number 34, Victor Borras.
Well, South High's got it rolling now on all facets of the game. You see right there, delayed blitz like you talked about by Borras, and puts him down very easily for a sack.
Loss of 6 on the play will make it 2nd and 16 as the clock still rolls. A South High crowd still getting loud behind us. Brennan hands off up the middle. It's Kirkland, and he goes for a gain of about 5. So Kirkland's been one of the few bright spots tonight for this Highland offense. Kirkland, Lopez.
And Kirkland's played well on both sides of the ball. He went hit on some good runs. He's made some good stops. So good job right there. Kirkland's going to do a good job of just powering that ball up, reads the block, and he just gets those shoulders going down and able to run people over.
Brennan swallowed, absolutely swallowed at the 7-yard line as I counted 4 South High defenders in the backfield.
Yeah, and they just swallowed them up right there. And that's just an easy sack for Edgar Velasquez.
Minute 45 left on the clock. And I bet Cody Woods just thinking to himself, please don't snap it over my head. Let's get out of this half as unscathed as we can.
Yeah. And again, the return guys, I think, are too deep again, kicking into the wind.
Well, this is Demetrius Green back to return this kick at the 45.
I think he should move up about 5, maybe 10 yards.
Snap comes. It's a good one this time. And it's blocked!
Touchdown.
Into the end zone. Touchdown!
Velasquez on the block. And Johnny Durden on the recovery.
And you know, I mentioned Cody Wood just wants to get out of this half unscathed, or as unscathed as possible. He's limping off on the sideline as his leg had all that momentum going up, and it was stopped. He is hurting, and believe me, Brian, I know exactly how that feels. My goodness. You see Wood up there at the top of the screen?
Yeah, I see him going across, and he'll be able to shake it off. I know you shook it off. He'll shake it off, and because he's going to have to punt again.
Yeah, timeout taken by the Rebels with 1:11 left. Boy, that's dangerous, though, as a punter. That's your worst nightmare. I mean, just coming in unblocked was number 33.
He was blocked.
Edgar Velasquez.
He just shed the blocker.
He shed the block. Might as well have been unblocked. $1:11 left on the scoreboard in the first half. Carlos Ray has seen a lot of PAT time tonight.
He's been pretty good since that first miss.
Yeah, absolutely. Snap a little high, hold is good, and Reyes knocks it through. 37-0 with 1:10 left to go in the first half.
Now, is he supposed to hesitate like that? Because you always tell me he's got to keep on going on his rhythm. The snap almost went over his head.
Well, as the kicker, you're supposed to move as soon as you can see the ball in your peripheral vision. Your focus is on your plant foot and the tee.
Oh, here's the block. Hold on a second.
Oh, my goodness. And you know what? I think that Wood knew that.
Well, if you know
he
they're
knew
going to
that
block
Velasquez
it, why don't you just pull the ball down, let it go by you?
Oh, it's not
Have
that
you ever
easy.
tried that? I'm just asking. I never punted the ball.
I think I have tried that like maybe once or twice,
Didn't work?
but it wasn't a common thing. I mean,
Did
you
it
fake
work?
you. You know, to be honest with you, I don't even remember.
Well, it must have worked because it didn't get blocked. You remember if it got blocked.
I'll remember it if it got blocked because it would have hurt. But
I
as
just
the
always
kicker,
wonder. You know, you see them. They never just pull the ball out and then just go around and try to kick it again.
we had a punter at BC that did that last year, Cody Rigney. He saw the guy coming in ready to block it, faked the kick, took it around the right side, rolled out, and ran for a first down. So, yeah.
Just asking. Be a football player. That's all I'm asking. Be a player.
I'm too old to be a football player.
I'm talking about that position, man. That position.
You know, I bet Cody Wood is more than just a kicker.
I'm sure he is.
Nonetheless, hope to see him back out there because he's getting looked at over there on the far sideline by the Highland training staff. There's a knuckler. Give a chance for a good return here as it's picked up by Wyatt Campbell. Campbell has some space on the left side, but he's swallowed up. And again, another player down at the 20-yard line, and that is not a good sign. He's holding his knee. That's going to be 34, Victor Boras, who was just in on a big defensive play.
Yeah, he had a sack a little while ago. Let's see. I don't see anything there. But here comes a big hit right there, and you're on the ground, and Boris is still writhing in pain on the 20-yard line.
A lot of injuries tonight, a lot of penalty flags. You know, usually this time of year you would see a lot of cramps. Most of the injury timeouts would be due to players cramping up. The weather is usually a lot hotter. It's actually a beautiful night here in East Bakersfield.
Oh, yeah.
But those are the scary ones, Brian, the ones that you hate to see, you know, when the players grab their knees, because that could be ACL, MCL, anything like that can put you out for a long time. Victor Boris, a junior, 5'7", 170, listed as a fullback and an outside linebacker.
And he gives you great effort too, Matt. You know, I mean, one thing about him, he plays very hard-nosed, gritty football. So you gotta like his attitude. You just hope that he's okay. Maybe just, you know, banged his knee on the helmet or something, he'll be all right. But I hope it's not anything major like a MCL or ACL or anything like that.
Minute 4 on the clock. South High up 37-0 over this very young, inexperienced Highland team. But there's hope for the future, Brian. I mean, the younger you are, like when you're starting 4 offensive linemen that are sophomores, you just think about how good they'll be, how well they'll be able to play together when they're seniors. They'll probably be pretty good.
You know, I think that's what you have to do when you're building, and we see Boris up. I'm sorry. You got a couple of teammates coming to help him out.
That's good to see the camaraderie. Miguel Organista, number 64, and number 73, Jesse Rubio, helping to carry their fallen comrade, Victor Boris, off the field. They're going to take him straight to the training bench.
You know, and Evans hasn't been in the game for a good half a quarter, so maybe he's done for the night.
Well, when you're up 37-0, I mean, would it be safe to say that Evans is South High's best player with Armando Rea being out of the lineup tonight?
Well, he definitely came to play tonight and used his athleticism, and I think his overall superiority, and he was dominant earlier and put it out there for Bright House fans to see that he's a player.
Handoff up the middle. Big hole, and breaking a tackle is number 10, Trey Ayers. All the way up to the 45-yard line as we break under a minute, 53 seconds left. Highland needs to hurry up and get on this ball here. They do have 2 timeouts left, but if they want to get anything on the board, they better move the ball pretty quickly.
Well, good run right there by Ayers, and where was he been at? Ayers. Where has he been at, Matt? He's ready to go.
Trey Ayers, the senior. He's still in the backfield. There he goes again. And Ayers breaking tackles. Gets about a gain of 3. Now Demetrius Green limping off to
his shoulder. He comes off, or his arm, but he's not coming back, I think, for this half with 20 seconds left.
Handoff, left side. It's Corona. Corona up the gut. Gets a first down with 8 seconds left. Clock's going to stop to move the chains. Going to see if Coach Montano opts for the timeout here. Clock's running. This will probably be the last play of the first half. If they get it off in time, they do. And running into the backfield was Brennan and Ayers. They ran into each other. And with that tackle, that'll end the first half. It's getting ugly here at Highland. South High up 37-0 at halftime. We'll be back for the second half on the Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week.
We're the kind of friend who knows how important it is for you to work with a reliable, dependable crew. They understand what you need, sometimes before you even know what you need. Which is why at Bright House Networks, we take great pride in our customer service, offering an on-time guarantee and customer support 24/7, 365 days a year.
You know, I usually have a whole bunch of guys.
The other guys are back at the office.
Cool.
Bright House Networks.
Welcome back to Highland High School here on the northeast side of town. That is not a typo. You're looking at the South High Rebels completely dominating the Highland Scots in the first half. A big first half for Keith Evans, Javier Rodriguez, Carlos Reyes, the kicker, Eddie Perez. I mean, just names all around this South High roster have been getting some significant playing time and making some significant plays. But where it counts on the scoreboard, 37-0 as we start the third quarter here at Highland High School. Highland definitely needing some sort of spark here. And with a 35-point lead in the new CIF rules, with at least a 35-point lead, should I say, we've heard rumors that there may be a running clock here in the second half. So South High is going to try to keep the score or keep the 35-point lead. 12 minutes up on the scoreboard. About ready to start the third quarter here at Scotland Yard. And Sergio Chavez, the 5'6", 655-pound senior, about ready to kick off for the Rebels. He will. It's a knuckleball. It's going to be caught on the fly by Jeremy. Yeah, that's not Jeremy Adams. That's number 9, Anthony Uloa. Ball out of bounds, 11:55 left to go here in the third quarter. Good catch there by Uloa. That was a bit of a knuckler.
A good job of picking up some positive yardage and about 10 yards and giving Highland some of his best starting field position of the night.
That voice you heard is the voice of the one and only Brian Adams. I'm happy to be back in the booth tonight. I'm Matt Alvarez. Tonight's game is under the direction of Bernie Johnson in the production truck. Ball thrown up in the air, and not having any idea where it was number 82, David Garcia Jr., as Breaker Brennan's pass floated.
See right there, just thrown out to the left, and just wide of the receiver. But the good thing is nobody can intercept it. And, you know, it does not look like there's going to be a running clock because that just stopped after that pass is incomplete.
Yeah, now the referee's starting the clock. I think he noticed it too. At the same time as on a 2nd and 10 play, getting the ball up the middle was Nick Corona. And he's tackled by number 33, Edgar Velasquez. Now, serious question though, Brian. If you're Coach Wren right now for South, when do you take out your starters and, you know, not risk them getting hurt?
Well, one, we don't know what kind of depth he has at position. Certain positions he may not have anybody there to take over. So they may have to play. And, you know, again, he's probably going to hope this clock just runs and runs and runs and they can hit the bus and go home.
Well, the clock stopped once again as Breaker Brennan's pass falls incomplete. And it'll be a 4th down for the Highland Scots. And the referee looks at the clock and he gets it going. Yeah, I think the clock operator must not be on the same page as the referees. Nonetheless, Cody Wood, good to see him out there again after taking a pretty hard hit and getting the punt blocked for a touchdown earlier. High snap, but he fields it, kicks it, good high punt, gonna be taken on the fly, fumble! And Highland gets it right back at the 24-yard line. Ball recovered by number 3, John Stanley. Keith Evans, a rare miscue for the South High superstar. This punt.
Good punt here, though, man, in terms of it got down and just loses a little concentration and drops it right there, and Highland's in business.
10:44 left in this third quarter. Brennan hands off, and taking the ball is Kirkland up the right side, gains about 1 yard on the play. 37-0 South High leads, but Highland threatening the best field position they've had all night.
Now, I had to get more too on the running clock situation because, you know, Matt, my first game I ever did with Bright House was Bakersfield High, I believe, against De La Salle, and the second half they were beating BHS so bad that there was a running clock.
Was that the one at Bakersfield College at Memorial Stadium?
No, it was at Bakersfield High.
It was at BHS?
Yeah, Bernie and I started together that year, and my beloved drillers were drilled that night.
What was the final, do you remember?
I can't even remember, it was bad.
Were you playing the year they played Bishop Amat?
No.
63-6 or something like that? In front of 21,000 at Memorial Stadium. Third down, Brennan takes a hard hit, and he is down. They're going to throw a flag. I think the ball was uncatchable to begin with. But nonetheless, Nick Corona was open for a minute. Got hit by Jesse Belt. We'll see what the official call is as the clock stops yet again.
Well, there's 2 flags on the play.
And it's PI, pass interference against South.
Yeah, it looks like he did put some contact, and I don't know if it's an uncatchable rule in high school, but I will check on that and have that back to you next week.
Very nice touch for one of the head referees in town, Alex Edelor, to try to contact me and give me a rundown of the new rules. Brannon sacked behind the line of scrimmage as untouched was Brandon Furman. Got in there and took Brandon down to the turf.
Yeah, and Alex got me those rules, so that's why I said I'll talk to Alex this week and ask him about that. But you see right there's the sack. And pulled down, and now they're back at the 15.
It'll be 2nd and 16 from the 15. 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Brandon back to pass, rushes on again, and again down he goes. It's Demetrius Eaton this time, and he was eating him alive.
Well, right now, those young guys on the Highland Scots line are getting what they call baptism by fire, as these players right here for South High are just letting loose and coming through and putting the quarterback down.
Another loss of 5 yards on the play will make it 3rd and goal from the 20-yard line. Brennan. Gotta be a passing play here. Brennan finally gets more time. Negative on that. He is taken down by Edgar Velasquez. It looked like he had a little bit more time to roam around in the pocket and try to find an open man, but Velasquez came in there like lightning.
Well, there's just no chance there for young Breaker to make a play. And South High defensive line has just now made 3 straight stops and drove him back about 25 yards, it looks like.
They've got to get in the end zone here, and it's 4th and 27. They hand it off up the right side, and it was close. It was a good effort, but unable to get to the end zone was Trey Ayers, and it's going to be a turnover on down.
Well, they may have found somebody that can run the ball for them as a big play capability, and that's Ayers. He has an ability to make guys miss, cut right there in the hole, runs through a tackle, and he looks for a second, Matt. He's going to have a chance to sprint to that sideline for a touchdown, but good job right there by William Lujan to stop him on the 4th down play.
So South High will get the ball, 7.5 left to go. Clock is not running. I don't know if the referee noticed that or not. I think we'll just give the running clock a rest. Let the scoreboard operator do what they will do. South High back in business the first time for the second half on offense. Different quarterback now. It's number 19. And what do you know? Oh, check that. It's 15. Marcus Bruley has a penalty flag down. The handoff there went to Asante Johnson. Johnson still seeing playing time here in the third quarter. Going to be a 5-yard penalty. Will make it 1st and 15 for the South High Rebels. 7:18 left to go, third quarter. South High jumped out to a big lead early, and they just kind of patted it on throughout the first half. Went into halftime with a 37-0 lead. Now let's see if the Highland defense can stop this threat. From their own 5-yard line, South High will regroup. In the shotgun is Bruley. Bruley hands off. Demetrius Green, left side, swallowed up by the Highland defense. Suffice to say, they may just keep it on the ground here for a while.
Well, I think so. I think there's nothing to gain for them going in the air. That's not to say they won't. You know, you get in 3rd down and long, but usually coaches won't really try to throw it down too far.
It'll be 2nd and 15 after no gain on the play. Bruley in the shotgun has a receiver out to the right. Bruley looks to the right, throws it up there. It's caught! Down the sideline, Jesse Belt. He's gone. Touchdown, South High. Right on cue, Brian. They had the matchup they wanted. 6'1", Jesse Belt.
So how long of a touchdown is that? That 95 yards?
94 yards
94
from the 6-yard line.
And right there, he's just going to go for about a 60-yard run after the catch. There's nobody's going to catch him, and that's just an easy jog to the end zone right there.
94 yards on the touchdown. And Carlos Reyes looking to make it a 44-point lead. And Reyes' kick is through, but there's a penalty marker before the snap. I want to remind you folks that Bakersfield College in action tomorrow night for the first time in the 2012 season. They take on Santa Ana College. 6 p.m. kickoff time at Memorial Stadium. Yeah, Santa Ana wins, remnants of Hurricane Isaac blowing here through Bakersfield. They can be especially felt 40 feet up in the air, shaking this scissor lift and scaring the living daylights out of myself and Brian.
Yeah, we'll see right here. The PAT's been the only thing for adventure for South High tonight.
That's very true. Snap good, hold good. Reyes' kick is good. 44-0. South High on top. We get another angle of that touchdown. That's just a step back and throw it up there.
And good job of going up at the highest point and catching it. And then, like I said, it's just an easy jog at that point.
That's a Sunday stroll for Jesse Bell. Nice even strides, nice arm movement. I bet he's a track star, Brian. I bet he does some track on the side.
He sure did look like it.
The Highland Water Girls. The views around Scotland Yard, the South High crowd. Still pretty hyped up. Despite their team being up by 44, the Highland crowd has been relatively quiet tonight. Not a lot to cheer about for this Scots team. And with 6:16 left to go in the third quarter, South High will kick off to Highland here. It's going to be Sergio Chavez handled all the kicking duties tonight. So there's been a boatload of touchdowns. There's been a safety. That's how we've gotten to this point. A blocked punt. We've had it all here tonight, but unfortunately for Highland, it's all gone South's way. Pooch kick. And again, making the fair catch at the 20-yard line. That's number 9. Anthony Uloa.
Another flag on the field.
Well, you wonder what this could be. Probably an unsportsmanlike conduct at that juncture. And that's what it is. That's something you don't need right now. I mean, it's kind of pointless to be getting unsportsmanlike conduct penalties when you're up 44-0. I understand if your Highland frustrations could be mounting here, but 6:16 left in the third. Highland back on offense. The only offense they were able to muster tonight was a punt that was muffed and recovered deep in South High's territory. First and 10 from the 37-yard line. And the head referee winds the clock. We're rolling once again. Brennan, hands off. Lopez swallowed right at the line of scrimmage, and another penalty flag. My partner and colleague, Brian Adams, saying it's going to be a face mask. Oh, he's not grabbing the face mask. He's grabbing the shoulder, but it sure looks like he was on the face mask.
Well, that's what they called, and they're walking off 15.
Of course, we have the benefit of replay. Referees do not at this level. Maybe if these kids play on Sunday.
Saturday, yep, they do have replay.
Heck, even at BC, the head referee gets at least a microphone now. There's the playmaker for Highland tonight. Getting big yards is Trey Ayers. Ayers or Ayers?
Ayers.
Ayers. Like, throw your hands in the airs. But he cares, because he's still playing his heart out.
He has the ability to make guys miss.
Yeah.
And then he accelerates after the miss and the cut. So I like what I've seen out of Ayers. I think they're going to start putting him as a feature in their offense.
Handoff. Nick Corona runs into his own man, tries to stick the ball out. He really, really wanted that first down, but that is not the way you pick it up right there. What do you think of this, Brian? We're at the very end of the play. Sticking the ball out there, trying to get that extra yard with people tackling him. That's not very smart.
I think first you have to understand where you're at. If you're really close to the first down, it's one thing, but you have to know that you were hit 3 yards in the backfield.
Coach Steve Montano is going to take a timeout. 5:02 left to go in the third. 44-0 South High over Highland.
Well, here's the thing. If you're Highland, what do? You're down 44 points. You still want to play football the way you would play if the game was close. You don't want to do anything that's out of the character of playing football the right way. So they have to work on the things that they need to do to be a good football team. Again, they're young guys. You don't want to get in bad habits. Get back to your fundamentals. Work on your executing your blocks. You have something in the airs of a playmaker. Maybe you can get him the ball in some space and see if he can make a play for you.
Did you notice Highland's jerseys, Brian, on the shoulder? They look like kilts. Oh, that was planned.
Yeah, I noticed that in the first half on one of the close-ups. So it's called. What's the pattern called? I'm not sure. What is it? Tartan?
Yeah, sounds about right. Big hit on Lopez in the backfield. As making the hit was number 5, Johnny Dearden, middle linebacker. That's going to bring up a 4th down for the Scots from the 40-yard line. 4th and about 2.
Whatever play they have, I should go to number 10.
Yeah.
He should get some touch on the ball, and he's not in the game right now.
They hand the ball off in the backfield. Corona hit, stuffed, stopped, turnover. South High will get it right back. About the most exciting thing for Highland tonight was the halftime show. They have really came out tonight and not played very well. But there's a bright future for them. As we said, they're a very, very young team. They have 4 offensive linemen starting that are sophomores. They have a starting sophomore quarterback. Ayers is a senior. We saw Rosas do big things. He's just a junior.
And again, I think you said you have to be a rebuilding of their program because they have young players, but they can't get discouraged. They got to get back to practice. I think you're going to see South keep the ball on the ground now, and why not when you can rip off 10, 12 yards?
It's going to be another first down. Demetrius Green on the carry. You see right here on the instant replay, Green following his blockers, big number 77, D'Artagnan Harris.
And I've liked D'Artagnan in this game. He's had a good game blocking on offense, and he's made some plays on defense.
Another one of those big-time names here on this South roster. Of course, with the loss of Jalen Oates, I asked Coach Wren before the game, how do you replace the Jalen Oates? And he said he didn't think that we could, but he did. In Evans.
Yeah, I think Evans will definitely give them the replacement on Oates that they were missing. Oates has played good football the last couple years and capped it off a great Arena Bowl game, Army Arena Bowl game this past spring.
And even before Jalen Oates, it's how do you replace Lee West? Then Jalen Oates comes on board. How do you replace Jalen Oates? It's like the passing of the torch at South High.
Well, one thing South is going to get some athletes. The question is, can they get the line to go with it? And can they get enough guys playing football on the same page that they can cause people problems?
This one goes back to Asani Johnson. He gets up near the first down marker, but it'll be just short. Bring up about a 3rd and 1 as we're down to 2.5 minutes left to play in the third.
And then right now, South offense, 3rd and very short. You got to figure that they can get the ball in across the first down marker and just kind of just run the rest of the third quarter out.
New quarterback, William Lujan. Hands off, and it's going to be snuffed out in the backfield. A host of Highland defenders getting to the ball carrier, which was number 5, Johnny Dearden. Going to be a 4th down here for South.
And give Highland some credit. They're still flying around trying to play football, make stops. So that's a testament to their coaching staff.
Well, not to mention, there could be some younger players in there, some newer players who are trying to prove to Coach Montano, hey, we can get in there and mix it up.
We want a little bit of PT as well. 4th down, back into the game comes Marcus Bruley.
They pitch it out to the left side. Green upended by Wyatt Campbell, and the ball go right back to the Scots.
And great job there by Campbell coming off the edge on the corner and making the play right there on the pitch, and stops them very easily from a 1st down. And the Highland Scots take over.
So Highland will have it on the 43-yard line. First and 10 for the Scots. Back to work goes the sophomore Breaker Brennan. He rolls out to the right, throws it. It's going to be caught by Kirkland for a gain of about 6 on the right side, falling out of bounds, stopping the clock with 48 seconds left, and the clock keeps running. Just a little quick pitch and catch, like playing backyard ball right here. You see the rollout. Number 51, Christian Garcia, the sophomore, one of the 4 sophomore starting offensive linemen, rolling out there, putting the block for Brannon. Brannon handoff right up the middle. Still on his feet is number 27. Or is that 25?
23.
23. That's a new one. Austin Vassbinder. Seeing some time tonight. Vassbinder, look at him just power his way through there. Man, he hit Chris Barbosa like a ton of bricks. 10 seconds left here, 3rd quarter. This will be the last play for all intents and purposes. Brannon rolls out to the right, throws it, and it's caught. And breaking away from tackles is number 82, David Garcia Jr., all the way down to the 29-yard line. And just as that play ends, the 3rd quarter ends. It's 44-0 South High. We'll be back for the 4th quarter.
At Bright House Networks, we don't want to be seen as just a cable company. We hope to be considered a friend, the kind of friend who's in your community, helping out where and when we can, and who can make rainy nights in better than a night out. The kind who lets you conquer worlds from your bedroom and bring old friends together even though they're worlds apart. That's just the kind of friend we are. Bright House. Hello, friend.
I'm Amar, and I'm responsible for IT operations of 25 healthcare clinics.
I'm Paula with Bright House Networks Business Solutions. We have an entire team standing behind Amar, ensuring he gets the exact dedicated fiber services he needs.
We're ahead of the curve in healthcare with our electronic medical record system. We send information everywhere, even internationally. Our patients' care depends on guaranteed uptime, and that's unique to Bright House.
Bright House Networks Business Solutions, where business gets personal.
Welcome back to Highland High School. 4th quarter about to start. It's ugly here on the northeast side. South High up 44-0 over the host Highland Scots. Highland will drop to 0-2 on the year. South will more than likely improve to 1-0. I'm Matt Alvarez alongside Brian Adams up here in the 40-foot high scissor lift. Fumble on the play! And they called quarterback Breaker Brannon down on the ground before the ball came loose. A little excitement on the first play of the 4th quarter. That was close.
Yeah. I think it was the same thing that happened on that first half play. Bang, bang play. And that one right there went to the Scots.
Ball on the ground once again. They keep it on the ground, rather. And running up the middle for a gain of about 4 was 23, Austin Vassbinder.
I tell you, Austin really runs hard, Matt.
He lowers his shoulder.
Gets his helmet in there. Here you go, Brian. Take a look at this.
Yep, that's it. Just hard, tough-nosed football.
That's the kind of run you want to see. You know, that's the kind of run you see Robert Lopez do in the backfield for Highland. Brennan sacked again. He has spent more time on the ground tonight than any quarterback in recent memory here at Bright House Networks. What'd you say earlier, Brian? Baptism by fire?
That's it. You know, when you're young, and you got to understand, too, South has 11 returning starters. So that's basically, one half either your offense or defense. And most South guys go both ways, so they have a lot of experience, and they're taking advantage of that tonight.
10:15 left to go. Pass over the middle. Caught. Wide open. And there's your main man, Trey Ayers.
You know, I think they have to find a way to get Ayers the ball. I think that's going to be a big key for them.
Referee wanting the scorekeeper to roll the clock. But Highland in good scoring position now. 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. So they're in that weird position where they could still get a first down and be inside the 1-yard line. Brannon, handoff, right side. It's Ayers again. Ayers close to the end zone. Touchdown, Highland. They finally get on the board with a 6th spot.
And I think they found a guy in their offense that they can get the ball to now and make some plays for him.
Breaking tackles. He broke 2-3 tackles, falling into the end zone. And Highland finally breaks the goose egg with 9:38 left to go. And with all that, they're missing a man on their special teams PAT unit. Cody Wood set to kick the extra point here for the Scots. And he knocks it through. 44-7, Highland on the board, giving the home crowd something to cheer about.
Well, another player down on the ground. We've seen a lot of guys go down tonight and get shaken up.
That doesn't look good. Let's see what we have here.
This just Ayers right here making a good cut. And he's going to just run through tackles. And this is just him wanting to score right there.
And again, Brian, we mentioned that there are some of these Highland players that may not see a lot of playing time, but right now is their chance to prove to Coach Montano what they can do. And this is as good a chance as any.
Well, any opportunity you get is a good chance. You have to take advantage of it and just show the coach that, hey, I really want to be out here and get some playing time.
We can get a view of what happened to Demetrius Eaton. He was able to get off to the sidelines. So that's a good sign. 9:38 left to go. So much for our notion of a running clock. 44-7, South High leads. South High will be getting the ball back. Be safe to say that they'll keep the ball on the ground, but then again, you never know. Their last touchdown was scored by way of the air. South High came into the second half already winning 37-0. Only scored 7 points in the third quarter. Bit of a moral victory for the Highland Scots. Cody Wood from the 40-yard line tees it up. He's going to kick it to Evans and Belt. And it's a pooch kick. And catching it and trying to run with it is big number 52. Boy, he's got some speed down the near sideline, and he's dragged out of bounds. Brandon Furman with a burst of speed. Look at that, Brian. That was awesome. He turned on the jets. I bet that was the most time he's had the ball in his hand in his entire career. He's listed as an offensive and defensive lineman. Clock running now with 9:10 left to go.
And the clock is running again, Matt, so they have it going.
Oh, yeah. And just as we say that, right on cue, Coach Wren decides to take a timeout. Oh, man, he's not happy with somebody. But as a coach, Brian, you have to understand that, or you have to have your players understand that just because they're up 44-7 doesn't mean they can take plays off, doesn't mean they can have mental lapses. Yeah, none of that nonsense, right?
Well, I think that's exactly what he's talking about, Matt. Hey, we got to focus and finish this game. It's 8:52 left. You finish playing football the right way. Do the things we did to get it up 44-0, and let's keep the pressure on ourselves, not on Highland because this time the game is over, but on ourselves to execute and play football the way we work on in practice.
That's the voice of longtime veteran here, the Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week, Brian Adams, as I believe, what is this, your 14th year? Year number 14?
I have to ask Bernie, how many years have we been doing this?
Math majors.
13th year.
13th year behind the mic here at the Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week. How does it feel being up in the scissor lift, Brian? You've been down on the sidelines the last couple of years.
You know, I've had a couple times with you in some playoffs, so it's okay. You know, I'm not one for the wind and the movement, but we'll get used to it.
Well, that Wasco game that we did last year, man, that was a barn burner.
Oh, that was an awesome game.
Good crowd out in Wasco. Guess who's kicking for us at BC? Austin T. Harina.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Kid's got a bit of a leg. He's going to do our kickoff duties. Fumble on the play, picked up. Oh. Another fumble, the ball's loose. Highland hops on it. So I think that's 2 fumbles in one play. No, South got it back. Number 63, Dominic Rodriguez, hopping on the ball. 2 fumbles in one play, Brian. Watch this.
I'll tell you, Luhang is going to get popped right on the ball. Is going to see it squirt out right there off of number 36, Joe Singh. And then number 80, Augie James, just couldn't pull it in.
You don't see that very often. 2 fumbles on the same play. Clock runs 7:40 left to go in the fourth quarter. South High, as you can see, that's not a typo. They're up 44-7 on this young Highland Scots team. Back into the game comes Bruley. Bruley rolling out to his right, looking, firing, caught on 3rd down. They get up to the 29-yard line. Pass was caught out there by Javier Rodriguez, who already has a touchdown catch tonight. It'll be 4th down now for South.
And they just keep switching quarterbacks. Like I said, there's Bruley, another junior, and he's just going to roll around and finds his man right there, number 6, Rodriguez, on the little swing and able to get it in 4th and short. And here's Lujan coming back in the game.
So obviously giving their starter Eddie Perez a rest. Lujan's a senior. Bruley's a junior. Perez, their starter's a junior. They send a man in motion. This was going to be Lujan right up the middle. Lujan takes it up the right side. Lujan! Touchdown, South High! They broke the 50 barrier, Brian.
You know, they sure did, and great play right there. And Lujan reading it well, keeps it right up the middle. There was nobody home, and he skirts into the end zone for another 6 for the Rebels of South High.
Lujan, the senior, listed at 5'8", 180. He's not even listed as a quarterback. He's listed as a wide receiver and free safety. That's when you know the coach likes you. Lets you play some quarterback. Carlos Reyes has plenty of extra point attempts tonight. Made all of them but one. And right on cue, he gets tackled in the backfield. I'm sure that soccer player, I'm sure he's a soccer player. And he was like, oh, what do I do here?
Well, that's been waiting to happen. They've had a couple of real loose snaps out there. And so far, for the most part, Perez has been able to catch him. But here it is right there. It actually wasn't too bad, you know, as we've seen the other ones. And then the kicker right there, that's all those ones of, oh, I got to catch it and I got to do something.
Uh-huh. Not enough reaction time. Us kickers are a slow bunch when it comes to the good old reaction time.
Fire mode. Who know what? You know, and then they call fire. What do you call it?
Yeah, fire. That's exactly what we call it.
Yeah, you got to make a play there.
That is one of the least worked on things in practice is your fire drill.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. No, we maybe touched it once a week, and we did 1 rep of fire, and that was it.
You
By
guys
the way,
should have practiced a whole lot. Didn't you make a lot of attempts on field goals when you were there?
No, we didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
We didn't get we didn't get close enough to make any field goal attempts.
Oh.
We didn't score enough to have any PATs. Yeah. I'm serious. I'm not kidding you. We were not good at Foothill.
Well, I know we seen you punt a lot. I know that.
Yeah, I got a lot of practice punting for sure.
I seen you do that.
We had a good
to
cast,
commentate your games.
We had a good cast. We had Isaac Quiros, who went on to play NAIA ball at Concord University in West Virginia. We had Eric Velez, who went on to play at BC and Sac State.
Eric, yeah.
We had a good group of players my senior year at Foothill, but we just couldn't mesh it all together. Clock's still running here, 5:35 left to go. I think it's safe to say that scorekeepers finally got on the same page as the referees and as the rest of the attendees at this game here tonight. 50-7, South High on top. The Highland crowd starting to file out. It was actually a big crowd on Highland's side tonight. Their home opener. In 5 minutes, Highland will drop to 0-2. They dropped week 0 matchup against Arvin as Vastbender has the ball come out of his grip once again. Easy there. We don't even have a 75 on our roster. That's a big boy, though, man.
Yeah, he just got to play some ball there.
Yeah. Well, here you go at the end of the play, Brian. Watch Vastbender and spit the ball out.
Yeah, he's down.
There you go. Handoff, left side. A lot of room opening up for Rosas. He gets about 8 yards up to the 35-yard line. Good tackle there made by Ruben Racio. Under the 4-minute mark here.
You know, and I think you're looking at, you know they're going to go for it on 4th down if they don't get it. But just stick what you're doing now. I don't know if I would take a chance and put too much in the air, but they're going to.
Pass almost intercepted by Lavelle Rufin, number 16. That ball was actually thrown by Mike Pinales, number 15 for Highland. They switched quarterbacks on us and didn't tell us. We didn't get the memo. Pinales, the southpaw. 4th and 2 here for the Scots. 3:20 left to go in this one. South High up 50-7. Pinales still in at quarterback. They hand off to Kirkland. Fumble. Kirkland in a world of trouble.
He's still on his feet, but he's tackled out of bounds. It's going to be South High ball. They might just sit on this one with 3:01 left. Don't know why they stopped the clock now. South High will take over from the 32. South High crowd. South actually had a good turnout tonight in the stands directly below us. They were loud most of the night. They had plenty of reason to be. Their team up 50-7, and it was a fun ride for them. Not so much for the Highland crowd. From the 32-yard line, it's 1st and 10 with 2:35 left to go and counting. Handoff. Up the middle, trying to cut out to the left side was Asani Johnson, and he swallowed up. Back into the game goes Chris Barbosa. Also, Johnny Dearden. Good tackle made by Brendan Johnson, seeing some playing time. Number 36, Joe Singh, also in on the play for the Scots. As we tick under 2 minutes here at Highland. Wind died down a bit, but now starting to pick up a little bit. Of course, we could feel it more here at 40 feet than they can at ground level, and got some movement on the line up front.
You know, if there's one thing I think of your South High, too many yellow flags.
Oh, yeah.
Then they have to do some cleanup on that. I think, you know, they're showing, if you're Ridgeview and West and those teams in that league, you're seeing that South High definitely has some athleticism potential, but I think that to clean up and play a little bit cleaner football, I think they could be somebody to worry about in their league race.
Looked like a lot of movement in the backfield before that play got started, but nonetheless, it's Dearden up the middle, who goes for a gain of about 6 yards. I think the referee's just checked out at this point. A little illegal motion. No big deal.
Oh, man.
Let's hope Alex or Nick Ellis doesn't watch this game film.
Oh, yeah, I'm about to hear from Alex now. Way to go, Matt.
Nick Ellis going to Facebook me. Thanks for that. Appreciate that, buddy. 50 seconds left to go. Hand off to Dearden once again. Dearden with a lot of speed, a lot of momentum up near the first down marker. Don't think he's going to have enough for the first. It's going to be just a yard short.
Well, I don't think it's going to matter at this point.
Well, it's been a good night for the South High Rebels. Putting up 50, that's their biggest offensive output in a while. I don't think they had a game like this last year. But to start off the season with 50 points, Brian, you'll take that if you're John Wren. You'll take that if you're any team.
Well, it's been a while since they put something like this on a Bright House show.
So South High improves to 1-0 on the season. Highland falls to 0-2. Your final score from Scotland Yard: South High 50, Highland High School 7. For Brian Adams, I'm Matt Alvarez. Thanks for watching. Good night and God bless.
At Bright House Networks, we don't want to be seen as just a cable company. We hope to be considered a friend, the kind of friend who's in your community, helping out where and when we can, and who can make rainy nights in better than a night out. The kind who lets you conquer worlds from your bedroom and bring old friends together even though they're worlds apart. That's just the kind of friend we are. Bright House. Hello, friend.
I'm Amar, and I'm responsible for IT operations of 25 healthcare clinics.
I'm Paula with Bright House Networks Business Solutions. We have an entire team standing behind Amar, ensuring he gets the exact dedicated fiber services he needs.
We're ahead of the curve in healthcare with our electronic medical record system. We send information everywhere, even internationally. Our patients' care depends on guaranteed uptime, and that's unique to Bright House.
Bright House Networks Business Solutions, where business gets personal.